All right. Hey, Taurus Beauty. She says, "Hey, Candy, I really want to manifest moving to LA, but I think there's some imposter syndrome going on." All right. Let's talk about some manifestation. Okay. And then also imposter syndrome. Yeah. So, imposter syndrome. That is a huge way to self sabotage. So, for those of you who may not know what it is, imposter syndrome is when you think that you are a fraud or a fake and a phony, that you are an imposter, that you don't really belong where you belong. Whether you are a CEO or an employee or a wife or whatever the case is, successful, you feel that somehow you're not worthy and you're not deserving, you're not qualified for whatever position you hold. And that just comes from a deep seated sense of unworthiness, not being good enough. It's a byproduct of perfectionism, it's a byproduct of codependency, all of that stuff. And a lot of people have imposter syndrome. I've definitely had it. Not have it, I've had it. So you are definitely not alone, Taurus Beauty. I want you to know that. So many people have imposter syndrome, particularly people who are ambitious, particularly people who are successful, particularly people who um, have a lot of pressure to succeed in any bucket of life. So I definitely feel that. And so if you want to manifest moving to LA, the way that I manifest is I like to become the manifestation. So what I mean by that is I like to already in my mind. And some people when they talk about manifestation are like, you got to be delusional, get delusional. No, I don't believe in that. There's no delusion in manifestation. It's very clear and conscious. It's intentional. But I like to in my mind already have what it is I want. So if I wanted to move to LA, the first thing I would do is I would get out my journal and script. I'm really big on scripting. I would script like put yourself 1 month in to have already moved to LA. You're already in LA. In your mind, right? In your mind. What would your ideal typical day look like if you already lived in LA? What would that look like? I would write down, dear diary, dear universe, thank you, God, whatever you want to say. Today was the most magical day in LA. I can't believe it's been 1 month since I moved here. My move was so easy and smooth. I found the most perfect apartment. My condo is decorated how I love it. My house is blah, 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 blah. I've made so many new friends. My job is so seamless here. I love looking at the palm trees. Today I went to lunch at, the Polo Lounge. Whatever your thing is, I went on a hike to Runyon Canyon and really saturate yourself in the feeling that it's already yours, that it's already happened. Saturate yourself in the feeling of the lived experience that you've already moved to LA, it is already yours, it is done. And what does that look and what does that feel like? And I would just script that. Either every night or just when you feel like it, I would script it. I would script it. Today was another great day in LA. This is what happened. I made all these new friends, blah, 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 blah. And then throughout your day, when you think of, moving to LA or if you're just doing stuff, have affirmations that reflect that it's already happened. Let's say you live in Kentucky, and you want to move to LA, washing your dishes. You know what? Oh, I love living in LA. I love like living in, West Hollywood or the Hollywood Hills, whatever it is. Living in LA is so great. Tonight I'm going to go to dinner, blah, 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 blah. While in Kentucky, even though you're physically in Kentucky, mentally and in your mind through your thoughts, because as we know, your thoughts and your belief is what manifests, you're already living in LA. This is very, very similar to what a lot of inventors and athletes and musicians do, right? They always talk about visualizing, like, they're like, I already saw myself, swooshing the winning basketball. I visualized myself, skiing down the Vegas ski, and now I'm an Olympic skier. They talk about, when you listen to interviews with a lot of the best, athletes and people who invent things, they're like, yeah, I already saw it. I already envisioned it. I already visualized it over and over and over again until it actually came. That's nothing but manifestation. Visualizing it, living in the live experiences, and then thinking the thoughts of the person who already has it, you know? And let it be fun. Let it be fun. Oh, today was such a great day in LA. I went shopping at Rodeo Drive, blah, 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 blah. I love living in LA. I'm such a Cali girl. I love being a Cali girl. It's so fun. It's so cool. My move went so smooth and easy. How lucky I was. My place just fell into my lap. I'm so lucky. I just got blah, 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 blah. Think of things. That's just how I talk, but however you talk, right? Make your affirmations personal. you know Another way to do that is act like you're talking to your best girlfriend. How do you talk to her? Like, hey girl, today I moved to LA. It was so cool. It was so easy, blah, 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 blah. I went shopping here. We did this, we did that. And let that be a loop in your own mind, right? And then there's also the law of action. So when you get inspired action, like, hey, maybe it's time to, start looking for places, or I don't know what you do for work, or maybe I could talk to my boss and see if I could get transferred, or maybe I want to do a digital job that I could work from anywhere. Maybe let me start looking into that. Let me start talking about moving to LA, because a lot of times when you just speak out what you want, the universe has a way of bringing it to you. Sometimes you say, hey, you know what? I'm really thinking about moving to LA. Oh, really? My sister's moving to LA. Really? Blah, 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 blah. So I think that if you want to manifest your move, I would do scripting. I would get very clear on what your life looks and feels like when you're already in LA, when you're already there. And then throughout your day, think thoughts and feel feelings of having already moved there, being that Cali girl, living in LA and being happy and having everything just fall into place and works out for you. And then when it comes to imposter syndrome, that's the self-love aspect of it. I would work on self-esteem and confidence work. Um, I have a whole, I don't know why I'm looking around like it's around. I have a digital hack on self-confidence and what that entails. And I've also done that on my podcast too, a whole thing on like the 3 steps to self-confidence. But for imposter syndrome, I would work on self-confidence and self-esteem and worthiness. Because at the core of imposter syndrome is I am not good enough. So I would really work on that work. And the way you do that is through inner dialogue, through journaling, prayer, therapy, counseling, affirmations. So I would definitely work on self-love and feeling the feeling of being good enough. But that's how it manifests the move to LA. Also, create a vision board. Create a vision board. Think about, like, I like to use Canva, and I just go on Pinterest when I create my visual boards. Like, I'll show you one. Like, here's one of mine. Here's one that I do. Just, you can either print them out or you can do it digitally, but make a LA vision board. These are the places I'm going to go hiking. These are the places I'm going to go eating. These are the places I'm going to go shopping. These are the places that I'm going to live, and then look at that vision board and feel like you are there. And when you feel like you are there, that will also help with imposter syndrome, because the more that you feel that you are there, the more that you will feel like you belong. That's another good affirmation. That's one that I used because I just moved to Palm Desert and it's gorgeous here. And I was having a little bit of worthiness syndrome because I was like, this place is freaking amazing. But everyone was smiling and being so nice. And so I was like, you know what? I belong here. I belong here. So that's a really good affirmation to use. I belong. You want to move to LA. I belong in LA. It is a natural for me to be in LA. LA is where I am meant to be. I belong in LA. So do that. I hope that helped.